What is up, people? What is going on? I'm Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show, and we've got more news on the Deshaun Watson front. We've known about the cases piling up against Deshaun Watson. Will he play in 2021 at all? This is something that when we started talking about Deshaun Watson playing or not playing, the initial reaction people had was, he's innocent. This is crazy. This is all made up and crazy. The truth of the matter is no one knows if he's innocent or guilty, and we need to make sure we're clear about that in the case of Deshaun Watson, because we don't want anyone to think that the stance here, my stance, anybody's stance, is that he's 100% guilty or he's 100% innocent. But we do need to look at both sides and analyze whether the NFL is going to react and suspend this guy for the entire year. Is there a reason to believe that, some of these things could be true, half-truth? Some of this could be half-true, half-not true. Who knows? We don't know. It's important to not convict somebody before we know they're innocent or try them before we know they're innocent or guilty. I'm just saying that we got to react from an NFL perspective, or what we predict the NFL to do. So I just want to make that clear so people don't just come at me and say, Smitty, how can you say these things you don't know until you're proven? I get it. And I feel like everybody should have a chance to be proven innocent before you start, taking away their job. But 21 cases now. The Houston Police Department has opened up an investigation against Deshaun Watson. This is in conjunction with the 20 or 21 cases. There's a couple different reports on it. We're live here on the Fantasy Football Show at Smitty1.com. Join me over there, Instagram. This is not looking good. If I had to predict what happens, Deshaun Watson does not play a single snap in 2021. And if I have to go even further, I predict, and again, this is me predicting what the NFL does, not necessarily how I feel about Deshaun Watson. I can't stress that enough. I want to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from. The NFL is very reactive. The NFL did not react properly to the Ray Rice situation when that first unfolded back in the day. They suspended him. It was not enough. People revolted and reacted. They had to backtrack and then go at this again, and Ray Rice's career was over. The NFL is not going to ever, I think, err on the side of caution again with these situations. Instead, they will, I think, put this thing in purgatory over on the commissioner exempt list, where things can live without being dealt with. You can put Deshaun Watson on the commissioner exempt list and suspend him indefinitely. And again, not right or wrong, I'm not arguing that. This is what the NFL is most likely to do. And if the NFL does that, then they don't have to address this situation until they have all the facts. And unfortunately for Deshaun Watson, unfortunately for people that own him, if Deshaun Watson is innocent, unfortunately for him, if he is innocent, this will hurt his career. This will be something that the NFL can't take back later. There's no take backs on this kind of thing. But they're going to react, especially if there's an open police department investigation. Now, that could close in time for the NFL. The way I see Watson, maybe there's over 21 cases. The more I see Watson being potentially able to play 2021 or beyond would be if this thing started to fall apart. Like the Houston Police Department says there's not enough evidence, we're closing the case. That's going to bode well for the trajectory of Watson playing 2021 or beyond. If this goes badly, then police are investigating and there is a reason to try him or take this to a grand jury, which would be the next step. According to a few sources I have, it would be grand jury, closed door grand jury. Then you can bet almost your bottom dollar that Deshaun Watson won't play in 2021, and the likelihood of him playing in ever again, it's the odds are not great if this thing goes to a grand jury. If the Houston police say no, not enough evidence, we're not going to investigate, we're not going to go after Deshaun Watson, that will send this back in the civil only direction, which the NFL still could react to. The NFL could react to that and suspend him. They can do whatever they want. Everyone needs to let go of the fact of that won't happen because blah, blah, blah. It's the NFL. The NFL can do what they want, right or wrong, they can, and they probably will. If this thing goes in the direction of the Houston Police Department not filing claims, and maybe a lot of the situations start falling apart together. Multiple situations start falling apart inside the 20 cases that are kind of lumped together, but they are individual people, individual instances. For the most part, not every case is out there to be read, but in general, these are separate cases but brought together in a single lawsuit. If they start falling apart, and the Houston Police Department says no, we're not investigating, that's when you can see the NFL being like, okay, now we have to be careful because things are looking like this or this, and that's the only way I see this thing playing out at all in a positive fashion in terms of playing fantasy football, because that's what I do. I mean, and you got to attack this from different perspectives, and I'm talking about it from the business side of fantasy football, not any of the other perspectives yet, because that's not my job. That's not my place to say. It's not my place to judge. I will bring you the facts as I see them. I'll bring you the speculation, whether to shoot it down or just let you know what the facts look like. But it is not looking good for Deshaun Watson. And if you own him in 2021, the odds are you will not be able to play him in fantasy football. Now, the crazy part about this, the Houston Texans are, according to the sources that I am in contact with, that are very, very knowledgeable and have very, very direct ties to this situation, tell me the Houston Texans are still, even now, they're saying, we aren't trading him. We aren't returning phone calls. We aren't even answering calls. We aren't doing anything of the sort. He can either hold out his entire contract or not, but we're not trading him. And I don't understand. Like, I get it. Listen, the trade market's probably gone. The 49ers were going to potentially, my boy Dr. Raj said that he put this beautifully, that he thinks that package to get the number 3 overall pick was a trade package potentially designed for Deshaun Watson. But again, the Texans, from everything I've heard from very, very trusted sources, said that they weren't even answering calls or even entertaining it. So the Niners were going to go after Watson, whether they were going to get him or not. Other teams like Denver were going to go after Watson. I think Chicago still would have looked into it. But now everybody's pumping the brakes. Nobody wants to get involved in this situation, and I don't think now, with the Houston Police Department opening up an investigation, any shot of one-off team going, let's put in a lowball offer, like 1/4 the price, that's off the table. Watson isn't going anywhere. On top of the fact, Houston wasn't going to trade him anyway, so if you devalue his value down to, like, I don't know, he's not even half price anymore. He'd be like a quarter price. The Texans still don't want to trade him. So, I have him in a dynasty league. I think I have him in 2 dynasty leagues. I'm not planning on ever playing Deshaun Watson again at this point. I've got to think of it like that. If I got a lowball offer, I don't know what I would accept. And would I go after him? No, I wouldn't. I mean, if you told me you give me Deshaun Watson for my backup quarterback, one I could almost replace in a very easy to be had type of trade or wait, like, sure, would I do that? I could envision something like that, but this feels so much like the Antonio Brown situation. Now, he ended up coming back, but if you think back in the beginning of the year when you're like, okay, he's going to play. At some point, you were going to acquire Antonio Brown thinking, okay, he's going to come back, and he didn't during that phase where you needed him, you were buying him. This feels a lot like that. Like, everyone's going to think there's a buying opportunity, and there may be. You never know how this could crumble. There could be no case against him, no grand jury, no pursuing the grand jury by the DA, I believe is how this would break down. The Houston Police Department is opening an investigation. Now, people were telling me, hey, Smitty, this is civil stuff. It's all made up. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. So understand that. But people were saying, Smitty, this is civil stuff. This is all made up. There's no criminal cases. It's hard to believe, since nobody filed any criminal, anything criminal, that this has to all be made up. No, because when Nobody files a police report. Nobody says there's a crime committed. The police they can't do anything. So the civil cases alert the police that something's happened, and then the police will look into it. The DA will look into it and say, hey, there's a civil lawsuit over here. I'm being told a crime committed over here. Let me look into it. Let me gather all the information and take it. And if it's going to go somewhere, Houston Police Department gets involved, and they did. This is not a good sign that the Houston Police Department is getting involved, because what that tells me is that the DA did find enough evidence to take it to the Houston Police Department. The Houston Police Department is now saying we're opening an investigation because an investigation is warranted to be opened. So, right or wrong, innocent or guilty, this is what's happening. It doesn't mean that he won't be deemed innocent and completely innocent of all charges, but it's not looking good because there are over 20 individual people, even though it's one case tied in as a stronger, they're trying to make it a stronger case together, 20 plus, and I've even heard 21 to 25, it could get bigger, cases on this, and it's not good. It's not good. I see some of you in the comments have some questions here. Smitty, live on Friday night. Yes, sir. And I'm doing the Quad Box show here shortly on Instagram with my 49er faithful and people. We get like 500 to 1,000 people in the room, and we talk 49ers, we talk NFL draft. That's kicking off here, I believe, in like less than an hour on Instagram. So if you're not following me at the Fantasy Football Show on IG, you're not going to be ready for that live stream on Instagram in a little bit. So less than an hour, we're kicking that bad boy off. So get on over there. I think he'll never... Mariana says, I think he never will consider how the NFL reacts. I think he never will consider how the NFL... Are you meaning that you didn't think that he didn't think he'd get in trouble? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's up, Elgin in the house? It's crazy. I traded for Watson before the trade deadline last year. It would have been a huge hit to my team. Follow his life, what's going on. Innocent until proven guilty. I understand that. And I'm not debating anything other than the NFL will react. The NFL will do what they want, right or wrong. It's been a minute since I heard that music again. Let's go. That's right, Okafor. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you. What's up, Chevy? What's up, Mark? What's up, Colin? What's up? What's up, 2022? What's up, Brian, Murray? All of you in here. I appreciate you. So let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, Hall of Fame, what's up, buddy? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how a player can get raptured from the NFL just like that. Plucked off out of the fantasy football world just like that. Raptured. Just boom. Raptured. Never to return again. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I'm again am not talking about the crimes necessarily or trying to prove innocence or being guilty. That's not my job, and nor do I have a right to even do that. I don't know what the heck went on. We can only try and predict what the NFL will do. That's the best we have. I'm certainly not going to try Deshaun Watson. It's not my job. But man, that chair looks comfy. It is comfy, bro. You know, part of me wonders why I don't do my show from here, my live stream, but this is where we do the normal video uploads, the normal live streams, and I just wanted something different for my studio, for the live show, which takes place right over here. So my live show is right over here. It's warming up for Tuesday and Thursday. If you don't know, I am live every Tuesday and Thursday for 3 hours a day on my new live show, which I built an entire section of my studio for that specific reason. So, and for you on IG, you can't see it this way. So it's a completely different feel. It's a completely different show. and it's 3 hours long every Tuesday and Thursday. Eventually, we're going to make that bad boy Monday through Friday. So get ready for that. Monday through Friday. But that's over there. This is over here. Two entirely different types of products for you guys. Someone always watching, says TRT. What's up, Zachary? Pitts to the Falcons, says Brian. I don't know about that. I hope not. I mean, I don't hate that, but I hope he goes to a couple different places that I think could feed him the football a little bit differently, a little bit better. The NFL was not, let's see, what's his comment? The NFL has not put players on the exempt list for civil lawsuits. However, they would put players on the exempt list for criminal investigations. Exactly. And this is a open investigation that will likely land Deshaun Watson on the commissioner exempt list. And just because they haven't done something doesn't mean they won't. Every day we get deeper and deeper into a culture that is going to be extremely reactive, whether you want to argue that's wrong or right. Again, I'm not here to judge that either, but we are definitely getting to a place where I don't think you can use historically this happens anymore, because things can happen like that. People, you know what's crazy, Austin, is that, was it Austin? No, Jubal, you know what's crazy is that advertisers, man, if advertisers aren't backing out or threatening this or threatening that, they may drag their feet longer. But if they're getting told, hey, you either do this or we're gone, that can drive a lot too. And that doesn't have anything to do with historical, doesn't have any historical significance. It's like, we don't know what the NFL will do now. They can do whatever they want. And an open investigation in the eyes of the NFL is like, hey, you got into a situation, we're going to put you on the exempt list. And in their mind, this shouldn't have even been, if the police are looking into it, they deem that as like, hey, let's pause and hold on Deshaun Watson. And it's going to put, it's going to put him on the bench for a while until it falls, like I said, until the idea of a criminal case being brought against him falls apart. If it doesn't fall apart, then he's not coming back. If it falls apart, he now has, I think, an opening to get back in, because the Texans will be a little more careful, because what's going to happen if all this ends up being a nothing burger? I don't know how that can be. That's my opinion. I'm not trying to sway anybody, but when you have over 20 cases, there's probably going to be some truth and some untrue things interwoven, and we'll never really know what's true, what's not true. Sometimes you have people settling when they're innocent because they want to get something, clear. Like, you don't really know all the true and untrue things within something this big. And with, 20 to potentially 30 people claiming different things, half of them could be fake, one could be real, 10 could be real, every single one of them could be real. Even if one falls apart, that can't paint a picture for all the other 21, so like, what do you do there? Even if one person tried to pile on top of this investigation to chase money or to chase fame or whatever, that doesn't tell the whole story about all the other situations, So if one falls apart, one of these cases drops off or whatever, I don't think that does anything. It doesn't help Watson really any. Maybe a little bit. There'll be some people in his corner going, see, told you. But if multiple start falling apart, if the core of this investigation starts falling apart, if Houston says the Houston Police Department says we're not pursuing criminal charges against him, Watson is starting to look more in line with, being able to fight this and maybe get back on the field quicker. If they actually go forward with a grand jury, say goodnight, Deshaun Watson will not be entering back into the NFL. Even if he's deemed innocent, it's going to be a while, and it's going to be tough imagining, unless the civil stuff gets cleared up too, all 21 to 30 cases get cleared up too. Even if he's goes through a grand jury and comes out, not deemed guilty or whatever, he's still got to escape the civil stuff, because the NFL will absolutely suspend him indefinitely if he's guilty on the civil side. Smitty, back for like 20 minutes. Where's Seclan with the snacks. Seclan's like down the road from me, believe it or not. Like Seclan and I got to do a live stream when this COVID stuff clears up. Seclan is like probably right down the road from where I'm at right now. This is similar to the Von Miller incident, says Dried Ocean. No way Watson owners should trade him, right? Need to ride the wave out. I don't know. It depends on what you can get. Dried Ocean, throw me a scenario, and I'll tell you whether you think whether you should make that trade. Smitty, can you please roast me? I just traded Kelsey for Watson in your dynasty. Austin, it's April 2nd. This cannot be an April Fool's joke, bro. Why on earth would you do that with everything that's lingering, Austin? There's no way you did that. Austin, where's my take a lap button? Austin, I apologize. You need to run. Where's my take a lap? Austin, come on, bro. Really? You didn't do that. Take a lap. Austin, you didn't do that, bro. There's no way. Because I've been preaching to you for weeks to stay, that this Watson may not play ever again. I've been saying that for weeks. As this thing's been getting progressively worse inch by inch. And Austin, you go ahead and you make this trade after I tell you that over and over. Do you feel roasted enough? Oh, Austin. Kelsey is old and it's an 8-year league. I don't care. Kelsey's got 2 or 3 years left. Kelsey's got more years left than Deshaun Watson, bro. That's the whole point. Oh, man. Oh, well. Hey, Austin, we're going to help you get back in it, okay? That's why I'm here. So I'm only going to yell at you once and then we get back to work, right? So, Austin, let's get back to work and try and make a trade happen. Mock or fantasy. We're doing a mock draft, an NFL mock draft tonight. And then we're going to do, right after that, a fantasy football mock draft. So that's going to be very, very soon. What's up? What's up, Young Grok? Appreciate you being here, bro. All right, well, I don't know what else to say on this topic that I haven't already said. I said it all in my live show. You know, it is what it is, guys. And we got to wait it out. But we're being predictive here, right? And I'm predicting that Deshaun Watson doesn't play in 2021, and we'll take it from there. Anybody that wants to do a mock draft with us tonight, we will be doing the mock draft on Instagram. Go to my Instagram at the Fantasy Football Show. I do a quad box with my 49er faithful gang, and we're going to get on and do an NFL mock draft. And once we do that NFL mock draft, we're going to do a fantasy football draft. It all starts on Instagram. Get on over to my IG. IG's already there waiting, but get on over there to my IG YouTube world, and let's hope that, you know, I'm hoping that this all ends up being a nothing burger for 100 different reasons. One, I don't want anybody to have experienced anything that's being claimed. I hope that it's all false for the potential side of the victim, but we also hope that it's false because we don't want to see someone like Watson in that situation and have our vision, you know, our idea of who he is and who he was. We don't want that to come true. Like, none of this, we hope none of this comes true for a ton of different reasons. So you're a 49er fan? No, I'm an adopted cousin of the 49er faithful, and I go into these quad box live streams as the objective person because they know I'm not a 49er diehard fan, but I oftentimes get wrapped up in it all, and I love being a part of it. I'm like the cousin. I'm the 49er cousin. That's what I am. All right, I appreciate all of you watching. Don't forget, Tuesday and Thursday every single week I am live here at Smitty1.com or the FantasyFootballShow.com over here doing my live show right here on this side of the studio. So join me every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, for 3 hours every single Tuesday and Thursday. I appreciate all of you. The Niners 95. He says that the Niner people like me, so I bring some objective stuff for it. Smitty the... Okay, so anything else before I leave? 20 claims to prove all false unless they're baseless claims. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. That's the problem, Tannehill's dad. 20 plus claims. How the heck do you get rid of those 20 claims? How do you fight 20 claims in enough time to kick off the season? You can't, I don't think. I mean, they're lumping them all together, so I guess potentially they could all come down at once. I don't really know how that's going to work when you do lump a bunch of cases together. I feel like there'd still be a way that individually you'd have to go. You can't just like prove one of them's false and then the rest of them fall apart. There's still 20 to what could be 30 cases, individual people. And if you lump it all together, I don't know. I'll have to have a legal expert on here. I have a few legal minds that I can bring on. I'll probably do that Tuesday. I'll bring a couple legal minds on and talk about this case. What does it mean when you have 21 to 30 people in a case? What does it mean if 4 of them are lying or it's not the full truth, or something happens but then the rest of them are? I don't think it falls apart because of 2 or 3 people. I don't know how. I'll have somebody break that down from a legal perspective, but it's a great question. And I think to your point, Tano's dad, to fight all of this in enough time to play 2021, it can't happen. And then if the Houston Police Department moves forward with an investigation, forget about it. There's nothing that he can do to get on the field in 2021 unless everything kind of falls apart at once, or at least the Houston Police Department investigation goes nowhere. They deem it as a non-case or whatever. We're not going to take it to a grand jury. We're not going to even file charges against him. We're not going to interview him. If he goes in for an interview and has to explain a bunch of stuff, that's going to lead down a path of like, there's no way he's getting on the field. So that's what I got for now. Smitty1.com. You know where to find me anytime you get lost. And Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern for 3 hours a day. Every Tuesday and Thursday, find me here on the show. Let's do it.